Welcome to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. It's Monday night. We got the crew in the building. We got Lewis, we got Reese, we got TJ. What's going on, fellas? How's everyone doing? We'll start with TJ.
Doing good, man. We had a nice summer, hot weekend, good weather, a lot of racing everywhere. I mean, club racing, MotoAmerica, MotoGP, World Superbike. So it's good to see it all, and it's hard to get it all in, but overall, really good weekend of racing.
Nice. That's what's up. Reese and Lewis, you guys were out in Cali. Reese, how was your? Well, I from the podium standpoint, you had a great weekend. But how things, man?
I can't complain, man. It was a good weekend, long weekend. 3 races, for the weekend is a lot. Takes a lot out of everybody, the crew and the team. But for overall, getting podiums all 3 times actually, getting on the podium all 3 times is it's a great success there for us. I mean, we'll take it. So.
Right. Should I give you my address so you can send that bonus money this way?
I got a wife that's going to say, she gonna look at you like, hey.
Nah, not necessarily. Lewis was good, man. You out there as well? How things, man?
It was good. The weekend was good. The weather was great. The turnout was great. So, can't really complain. The results were really good overall. A lot of guys that I cheer for were on the podium in different classes at different steps, but all in all, it was a really successful weekend. And, we'll talk about it more, but, events wise and attendance wise, it was a really good event for MotoAmerica.
Yeah. Well, let's start there. Let's talk about the attendance. And since you guys were there and I was watching and TJ was watching, you guys can talk about it. We had talked about what Wisconsin was like and the attendance there and how crazy that was. And it sounded like this was another great weekend. So what are your thoughts on the attendance? How was that for you, Reese?
Overall, it seemed like the attendance was great. Lou can probably speculate on more than I can because he was, around more. But from what I could see in the paddock and walk around to the truck, it seemed great. We had a lot of guys, a lot of fans on the grid walk, on the paddock walk. We had a lot of VIPs out there. So it seemed like overall. I actually walked up to the corkscrew one time, and the corkscrew was actually kind of packed. So, it seems like overall it was a great turnout for them. I don't think they complained. I think they had about 1,000 people on a parade lap, doing a parade lap with Wayne Rady.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, Mr. Numbers guy. Is this the kind of numbers you like to see?
Well, let me start by saying that the one big factor that, again, brought a lot of the crowd was the baggers were there. And, I know people don't like to hear it, but facts are facts, man. The baggers were there. Harley Davidson had a huge setup. There were demo rides for a bunch of different manufacturers, and the parking lot was full. And, a lot of the bikes that were out there, a big percentage were not sport bikes. So, I don't kind of poo-poo on that, because if we can get people out, whether they're racing baggers or hooligans or bicycles, whatever it is to get them out. But, it was packed. I will say that. Like, the parking lot was packed. The bike area was packed. Getting in and out was real interesting, especially on Saturday because of the parade lap. The way they kind of set up the parade lap is if you were in the infield, getting out of the infield, you had to wait for the entire parade lap to go by. And there was just a line going around the entire parking lot of people that would just want to do one parade lap. But other than that, man, it's cool to see like these people get this opportunity to ride their bikes, even do one slow lap or parade lap around Laguna Seca. I know for a fact as people are going up that hill on a 900-pound Harley Davidson, like they have a smile from ear to ear because they're like, oh, I'm gonna go down the roller coaster, and then they get up there and they're like, oh shit. Yeah. I'm sure they had like a little bit of a oh shit moment at the top of the hill because it's not your normal little hill. So I was actually looking at the corkscrew, not hoping anything happens, but anticipating somebody's going to eat shit. But luckily, like they actually had a police officer at the top of the hill, like actually slowing people down. So nobody tried to like back in a bagger and end up in the kitty litter. So it was good though, man. It was a good time.
Do you think that the bagger series is going to help Harley with their numbers a lot and hopefully put them on in the black?
No, I mean, Harley needs some internal business restructuring more so than just the baggers. The baggers are great because it's Americana type racing. Like this is something that their core fan base can get behind. But for Harley to get out of the doldrum they're in, it's more of a internal management restructuring. I mean, I think they've had a bunch of different C-level executives come in and go out over the past 5-6 years. And they just need like a really good C-level CEO, CMO that knows the industry, but is not kind of so narrow-minded within the industry, like doesn't have so much tunnel vision. Mm-hmm. You have to know your customer. Your Harley Davidson core customer is this particular person, but you also have to understand that particular core customer is very small. And, a lot of the customers are aging out. And so Harley has to kind of go back to basics. They have to build a motorcycle that's sub $8,000 to get like a new rider interested in it. Because again, if a new rider has to go out of pocket $15,000 for a Harley, like it's not easy for a new rider to be like, oh man, I want a Harley as my first bike, but 16,000, this Kawasaki Vulcan looks really good.
Right.
So Harley just has to do a lot of high level business restructuring, put the right people in the right place, go back to their core, make their money off what they make their money off of, branded Harley Davidson apparel, having people inside that Harley Davidson ecosphere where like everything is Harley related. It's like you buy Apple product. You buy Apple product and then you got to buy this other Apple product because you buy that other Apple product. It works great with this Apple product. Right. And Harley's the same way. You buy a Harley, but then I got to buy a Harley jacket. And I got to buy Harley gloves and I got to buy Harley this. And there's going to be a Harley bike night. I got to go. And all of a sudden, like that's how you kind of, and they lost that for a while because they didn't have that right people in place. But I think the team they put together now looks like they know what they're doing. And it's going to take a little while, but I think within the next like 24, 36 months, Harley will be able to start turning it around a little bit.
Got you. I got a question for both you and Reese as far as the attendance. I saw Josh Herron said he sold out of all his merch over the weekend attendance. Are you guys at Yamaha looking at that, saying having similar things for your riders as far as them selling merch, and how's that looking with them selling merch? And then is Dainese kind of looking at what the attendance is looking like and seeing what's happening, and trying to see how will we see a Dainese Harley suit?
I'll let Reese answer first.
All right. I mean, to just be speculating. I mean, talking to some of the upper management in Yamaha. I mean, we take notice to, some of the guys, the teams, selling merch. I mean, I brought it up. It gives the fan. I mean, a lot of fans that come in, they actually want a piece of their brand, whether it's Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, whatever it is. They want a piece of their brand, especially their favorite rider. They just want something, a piece. I mean, it's a lot of times we can't even, as crew, you can't even leave none of your stuff out because it's going to walk away. It's going to walk away. It's gone. You got to put it up and put it away from somewhere because it's gone. But I mean, we do take notice of that. I mean, it has been taking notice. I mean, it's kind of getting worked on right now. I mean, it's all up to upper management to see where it can go. And I mean, I speculated to them. I mean, it's a good thing because when fans come to race, like I said, they just want a piece, and that's what they want. They want to take something home with them, saying, "I've been here, I met this rider, and I got his T-shirt." That's what they want. They want something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. On my end, I mean, for the riders themselves, I'm actually trying to get work with a company just to help the riders kind of build their own merch and be able to put some money in their pocket, because building merch on your own is not easy. I mean, it's a pretty big investment for some of these guys that don't have deep pockets to do it. And then selling it at the track, that's a whole other investment, because now you have to pay somebody at the track to be working the booth all weekend. So what we're doing with some of our riders is we're working with this company. The company will make the products for the riders, and the riders will just have like a little QR code on their suits. And if you want some of the merch from the rider, you just scan the QR code on their suits. It'll take you directly to their website. You can order it. It'll get shipped right to your house. And that way you can support the rider, because a big percentage of that goes to the riders. A very small percentage goes to making the product in the back end. And this is like something that we worked out with this company. And it's very important for me, for the riders to see a significant chunk of change for everything that their name or their number is on.
Right.
And so far, we've got a few riders in the program, and we're going to, try to get more riders. But again, the other piece to that is some of the teams, depending on what you sign with the team now owns your name, your number. So you can't even make money on your own name or number. The team has to make money on it. And if the team doesn't want to make the shirts, then there's no additional income. And if they do, they keep the income because, well, I'm paying you. And this is like one of these weird things where I'm telling a lot of these riders, unfortunately, most of these guys are their own managers, or their mom and dads are their managers. And a lot of them are not business savvy. And they're just so happy to be getting paid for their son or their, to ride a motorcycle, that they'll sign some of these contracts that when you really dig into them, it's like, it's great. You're getting paid. You don't have to pay but like, this is an opportunity that you're missing here. This is an opportunity that you're missing here. And even within the contract, sometimes there's pieces that are missing that, why don't you have this in here for your kid? Why don't you have this in here for your kid? And again, it's great because if you came from nothing and you're getting paid to ride a motorcycle, you think you made it.
Right.
But the people that know sometimes are taking advantage of these people that don't know. And they're leaving a lot of money on the table. So we're trying to work with some of these riders to kind of educate them a little bit more before you put your name on that contract. Like, read it, understand what you're signing, what you're getting, and what you're giving away. Because if you give too much away, like, it's great. Hey, I'm going to make 90 grand this year to ride a motorcycle and not pay. But you left another 60, 70 grand out there because this company was willing to pay you $30,000 in contingency. And this company was willing to pay you $25,000. But since you signed that contract, you can't do any of that.
Yeah. No, that's education, financial literacy. These are things that when that everyone had to stumble through. We've heard it from Lewis Hamilton all the way down when the parents are in the business and helping them, and you can only take them so far, and sometimes even that gets a little relationships get severed in that process of letting people go and that stuff. So it is definitely crazy, but it's cool what you guys are doing and helping these riders out or trying to. Let's talk about the race. We'll start with TJ on this. Race one. My thoughts when I saw the end of it, I was like, man, Josh might get another, three-peat. But it was interesting to see what Bobby Fong was doing and stuff like that. I was going to text you, Reese, and talk trash, but I figured I'll wait. And lucky thing I didn't, because the weekend turned out pretty good for you guys. So I might have been PJ Jacobs.
Talking too soon.
So TJ, man, did you catch the race, and what were your thoughts?
I mean, I caught more of a race too, but I mean, I always like Josh Herrin. That's one of my favorite guys. I've been watching since I was, getting into bikes since like 2014. So just watching him do what he's doing is just very impressive. So just seeing him win is good to see. But I do also like, my Yamaha guys out there. I definitely root for Bobby Fong and Jake Gagne. So for what Bobby Fong was doing to keep up in front, it was good to see. Yeah. I think it was definitely, I don't want to say it was overdue, but, I think especially Reese, I know you guys been rooting for Bobby to, to try to stay in the front of the pack and prove himself more. I know he's been on different teams in the past, but overall, I thought it was the first two races were really good. Happy for see Bobby and Jake get on the podium, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I got no complaints about the weekend. I thought it was really good overall. I also was watching some of the other guys like in the super sport class. How Schultz and PJ Jacobson arguing. I thought it was cool bringing some life to the sport a little bit. But and then there was obviously some incidents going down the corkscrew, people getting ran over a little bit. So it was a little interesting weekend and seeing the parade.
Yeah,
So I thought it was powerful. So.
You know, they teach you in class that, you know, in penguin class that, you know, if you fall, just, you know, stay on the ground because, you know, bikes run over something 10 inches or at least. And we got to see it live. I got ran over before on the track after I crashed, so I know it's possible. But for whatchamacallit to stay up, that was the first time I saw somebody actually stay up after running over someone. So that was pretty wild to see. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Louis, you were there in person. I don't know if you saw all of the racing, doing all the other stuff you were doing, but what was your thought on race one?
Race one in Superbike was really, I thought it was good. You know, I wasn't a super fan of the results because there's a couple of guys in that class that I cheer for more than others. But you gotta give it to Josh Herron. Like, he was able to kind of get out in front, and especially had a big crash on Friday. So, a lot of people are like wondering, how you're gonna come back, because you're pretty sore the day after a crash like that.
Right.
Whether you have an airbag, you don't have an airbag, you don't break anything, you're still sore, man. You get whipped around like that, your head gets whipped around, your neck is stretched, like. So it was good to see that even if he was hurt, like, he was well enough to like be very competitive. And I was hoping for slightly better results for the Yamaha team, but it was a good little mix, all in all. We had a Yamaha, Ducati, and a BMW all right there, so it was a good mix. And then the first super sport race, I was super surprised because I know Blake's really fast, but I've talked to him a lot of times, and sometimes I think he's getting more and more confident in himself, because at the beginning of the year he was like, he's raced in super sport before on the R6, now he's on the R9, and he was really competitive on the R6, but now he's like, I'm on the R9, it's a new bike, it's a new team, I have to get ready for all these new things. And Matt has been with this team already before, so he kind of knows the dynamics of the team. And then he also starts looking at the starting grid, and it's like Superbike rider, Superbike race winner, Superbike race winner, British Superbike race winner, Superbike race winner, factory Superbike race winner, Blake Davis. It's like, and I said, you can't look at it like that. You got to look at it as, this is a great opportunity for you to ride against, hands down, the fastest guys. It's not you and a bunch of kids fighting each other for milk money. Like, now this is like professional league, and you got to see how good are you. This is how you prove how good you are. And he's been mixing it up, staying in the top 3, staying in the top 4, bunch of little podiums here and there, and got a win not too long ago. And then he gets his win Saturday. And when he got his win Saturday, when I spoke to him, he actually was really confident. He's like, I actually felt good. I wasn't like, I was just riding. Like, I was just going out there. And I give that a little bit of credit that to his coach, Javi Forges.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I see him sitting with him for a long period of time, corner by corner, looking at the data, running things down, explaining to him how to block people that are trying to pass him, how to block pass when he passes people, how to not leave the door open. And you saw in the last lap of the last race, against Cam Peterson, he took a 2.5 foot wide R9 and he made that shit the size of an 18-wheeler. Like, he was everywhere that you wanted to put your bike to try to set up a pass. He made sure his bike was there, and he messed up your inside line, your outside line. Like, he made that bike 16 feet wide on a 26 wide track. So it was good racecraft, and it's good to see a young guy like that, like, literally, man, like, growing up right in front of you, maturing right in front of you.
Yeah, and leaps and bounds, because that was a pretty impressive riding that he was doing. And even in his when they were on the grid and he got interviewed, he felt pretty. I mean, most riders say they're gonna try to win and stuff like that, but he sounded pretty confident in that quick interview, and like he had a secret weapon or something, and he went out and did it.
And he had extra weight on his bike, because they added weight to the R9s for him and for Matthew, because of they said that they were a little too fast, so they actually added ballast to both of the bikes.
Wow.
What is the his he's sponsored by like N2 Track Days or something like that, I think.
He's with he just straight with Strack Racing, and then that's since he's with Strack Racing is the overall team, so everything goes through Strack Racing. He can have his own gear and his own helmet,
Nice.
but then he can't really have a lot of his own personal sponsors. Everything has to kind of come through the team. So he's got his gear sponsor for his suit, his boots, his gloves, and his helmets, but everything else kind of goes through the team.
Yeah, no, I really agree with you. He has been riding really well. So he was actually at the 100th Loudon Classic. And I remember this was back when he had the missing tooth. You know, everyone was calling him like, his tooth says, "This does it? I thought you got it fixed."
Nah.
He puts it in for interviews.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, he's been riding really well since then. I think he got third place in the Classic. You know, got some money, and I've been watching him since then, and he has been improving. It is nice to see him get a couple of podiums, especially at Laguna. So
yeah,
but that's cool what he can do. Like when you talking about the contracts, see your real numbers guy. So you definitely want to sign something where you can benefit off of, not just get in the books, you know. So.
Right. Reese, man, you were there in the paddock the whole weekend. What were your thoughts on race one? And were you a little bit worried? I mean, I don't know how you could be worried second and third, but, you know, we're a little bit worried, after race one.
I mean, race one was good. I mean, you got to give it up to Josh. Like Lewis said, you got to give it up to Josh. You know, he had a horrendous crash Friday, and to come back and to put it on the podium, you know, and still do what he can do. It's, you know, top class, and it's one of the few that can still do it. I mean, he's one of the, as we call it, the OGs out there, and he can still do what he do. For you know, I wish Bobby was a little bit more aggressive on race one. Mm-hmm. Throughout the weekend, Bobby's been the fastest, and he was the fastest on Saturday. He could have beaten Josh. He just didn't want to stick it up in there on him, which I don't know why. But I mean, he came back in race 2 and 3 and showed that he can stick it up in there. So I mean, overall,
we had after race one.
We gave him some good ribbon after race one. We're like, yo, man, if I wanted to watch the Marquez brothers, I'd be watching MotoGP, bro. You got to pass the guy in front.
Right.
You can't just stay in second place and watch your brother win the race.
And I said, man, I wish you Lou. He said, yeah, no, man, I need to be a little bit more aggressive. He said, I got it next time. Don't worry about it. I hope so. And I told him, I said, hey, man, Lewis said, if you ain't aggressive, he's taking his leathers back.
I'm taking all my gear back.
Let's talk about Cam. Cam crashed out and then got back on a bike, and it's pretty impressive. I mean, he finished 6th overall, but you know, is this something that he has to stop crashing, right? He got to stop finishing races. I mean, between last year and this year, you know, he's definitely been crashing out a lot, and he had the pace. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, especially just knowing what he's been through in the past, like the expectations for a lot of people are a little higher on him. But yeah, I think he definitely needs to stop crashing. I know last year there's a lot of them out of his own. But I know Laguna Seca, he's from California, so he had a lot of family attending. I don't know if that really affects how he rides. I know he's a pro, so. But if he wants to, you know, stay up front in contention, you know, you got to get the points. You know, you got to find a way to at least finish, see the checker flag, get some points, and then go from there. I mean, just straight DNFs, that's a huge loss, especially knowing how the top guys are running. You know, they're not trying to crash at all, especially like Josh Herring, you know, Bobby and all those guys. So, you know, he can do it. I mean, he definitely could win a championship. I don't know how far he is now. I got to check the points, but definitely needs to figure out how to stay up.
Yeah.
I mean, Cam is 4th in the points right now. He's like 82 points behind the leader, which is PJ. So with the amount of rounds left, like you know,
sorry, I was talking about Cam Bobier.
I thought you were talking about Cam Peterson.
My
bad.
He's second.
I mean, Cam Bobier and Cam Peterson, do about the same. They both crash a lot when they shoot it. And there's a lot of pressure on them to do good. So when you said one, Cam, I was like, it's like talking about the same one.
That's wrong.
They're interchangeable.
How do we stop crashing, Reese? I mean, how does that like? I mean, I know you're not going to give them advice, but if you were,
I mean, with Cam, I mean, he was kind of pissed off after race one. I mean, he said it to me. I saw him going down the paddock, and I asked him what happened. He's like, man, I just don't fucking know. He was like, he just told me straight up, he just doesn't know. Yeah. Normally he knows what happened. He's like, all right, I know what happened. I know what I did. But it's just like any rider, when they don't know what happened, it kind of confuses them. They're like, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to figure out. I want to know what happened so I can correct it. But he just couldn't figure out what happened. I mean, if Cam can stop crashing or stop having that misfortune or that little bit of bad luck, I mean, Cam he'll be dominating the championship. I mean, right now he's sitting second. I checked before we left, and I think he's 31 points back behind Josh. But I mean, he's still right there in the championship hunt. I mean, because we still got a good ways to go. I mean, the top four guys are all right there. So the championship is still tight as it can be all the way through. If we stay with the top four guys, which is probably going to be all the way through. I mean, but like Cam, I think when we're coming up to Virginia, I think Cam does good there. In Mid Ohio, I think he does good. So I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think you can see in his interview, he was kind of pissed. Mm-hmm. And so I think coming these next couple rounds, I think Cam's going to be one of the guys that you got to just be aware of. He's coming.
Nice. And the rest of the weekend, Yamaha did really well. But let's talk about Sean Dillon Kelly. Is the Suzuki just an old machine and they just needed a different manufacturer in there, or is it some rider situations?
No, I mean, if you talk to some of the guys that are riding out with the Suzukis, they'll tell you that the Suzukis actually have a lot of the tracks. They have the best grip. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the riders will tell you, like they'll follow a Suzuki in and they're like, man, like you don't hear the traction control kicking in so hard for the Suzukis, but they're pulling really well. So they've got good grips, man. They just got bad luck. I mean, when's the last time in a professional race that a chain came flying off?
Larry Pecco.
How long ago was that? Like 10 years? It wasn't recent.
No, I think it happened with Vinales. Might have happened with Vinales in MotoGP.
Yeah, but he probably broke that link himself. He was trying to get a contract, bro. You remember that?
It's possible.
Wow.
But like you rarely see stuff like that happen, And then he was also battling through injury because he had a crash where he hurt his hand. So for him to be battling up front and then have a chain pop when he was like at least in the top 6, like that's just like I understand why he got pissed off when he broke the tail section, man. I would have like done the same.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, the M4 team knows how to build bikes. They know how to build winners. They've had a lot of championships. And, the rumor right now in the paddock and in the ether is that for 2027, Suzuki's going to have a new lineup of motorcycles. And they're going to start with the big boys. So they're going to have a brand new Gixxer 1000. And it's going to be completely revamped. And then they're going to have something for the super sport class. And they're going to, so they're going to revamp their whole lineup. So you just got to push this old man along another year or so and hope that the new kid that they bring out is competitive, because realistically, they're still racing on 20-year-old technology.
I was going to say, oh, man, more like grandpa.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. At this point, he's sending his kids to college.
Still love my Suzukis.
I do too, man. But I know that a 2006 Suzuki and a 2017 Suzuki are like 98% the same, minus an IMU and some body work.
That's it. Same bullshit.
Yeah.
So, Reese, for you guys, what's the takeaway for the weekend? Is this kind of like, is a good stepping stone going into VIR as far as, staying on that number one, the first step? Or is it kind of like, let's see what happens at VIR?
No, I mean we take it away. We were talking about it on race 3. I mean we got everyone's got some good data. I think it's a good stepping stone for us. I mean we're going into VRR with some great confidence. I mean so is Jake. I mean everybody looks at Jake saying, oh, does he still have it? But if you look at actual race 3, he was running a consistent 24. And the only reason that, from what we know, something happened in the bag once SDK's chain came off. I mean, it was a bunch of oil leaked back onto the bike, and Jake kind of rode around it, but he had to take it a little bit easy because he thought it was on his tire, and we realized it was good to go. He pushed back up. But it was too late to even try to make a move and do anything like that. But he was in a consistent 24. His times were at the top 3 guys. So we're taking a lot of confidence going into the next round and to a lot of data. And I think coming into VRR is going to be a little different change of the tide.
Got you. Before, I don't know, TJ, if you saw the Twins Cup, I want to talk about that a little bit because these young kids are really fast on a Twins Cup. It's like, they're like, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and then there's like 35 plus at the back. And,
isn't it like 17 to 23 or something?
No, there's some old dudes in there. I'm ready.
There's some old guys.
Yeah,
there's some old guys there, man.
You can raise up to 55 in the Twins Cup.
Really?
Yeah. So I got like a couple years before.
I was gonna say, me and you got like 2-3 years to like get this in before we hit the cutoff. I'm not about to get my ass beat by a 13-year-old. Sorry, man. I'll keep my ass in the paddock.
Come on, man, you got to show up. But that's not the reason I'm talking about. Not because I'm going racing, but what are your thoughts on Chapin, Avery, and I can forget. Mario.
DeMario.
I mean, those guys. Like, I think he's just going to run away with it, right? DeMario, because he's
he technically he shouldn't be in that class. He was supposed to have a super sport ride. And then it fell apart at the last moment because he was going to do double duty. He was actually going to do Twins Cup to defend his plate and do super sport. And the super sport thing kind of fell apart, didn't come together. And he ended up doing Twins and the Kramer Cup. Okay. And even in the Kramer Cup, he's kind of running away with that one as well. Because again, for his age, he's at the talent level where he should be in that next class up. And he kind of like stayed in this class because, again, he wanted to defend his plate. But he had another opportunity that didn't happen. And, Reese will tell you, like in the paddock, in a professional racing paddock, only 1% of promises actually ever comes true. 99% of promises never come to fruition. And this is kind of what happened to him. So like right now he's in this place where he's like, everybody like, it's a little bit cockiness, but dude, I'm winning by 10 seconds. Like, I'm just out here riding a track day while everybody else is racing for second and third. I'm hoping somebody sees how good I am and gives me an opportunity in a different class, next class up, because, I'm what am I doing here, man? Like, even though I'm only 16 years old, like I need to be in a different class. I can't keep racing against these guys that I'm beating by 10. I'm lapping guys less than 8 laps into the race. Like, it's crazy.
I think he has from the rumor mill, I think he has a seat over there at HSBK next year.
Nothing. Like I said, 99% of the promises never come to fruition, man.
Well, he did a
test, and then all of a sudden, Cam Peterson healed up real quick. It was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll be back next week to ride my bike, man. You don't need to give that kid my bike.
Because if Cam knows that kid rides, he might go lose his seat.
Yeah, exactly. Can't lose your seat if you never let the kid ride your bike.
Well, remember there was supposed to be two riders over there this year. The other one's hurt. So that's the rumor mill that seat that's vacant, he may end up slotting in.
Okay. Man,
that was the rumor.
Yeah, he definitely deserves a seat where he can be more competitive for sure. And he's a young kid, and these young kids, I mean, they're going to be coming for a lot of people's seat in the next few years.
Honestly, I think there's 3 kids under the age of 18 right now that they're the future Cambobier's, Jake Gagne's of this class, man. Like they're the 3 or 4 kids that I see right now that I'm like, these three or 4 kids are lethal, man.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch the Twins Cup, but I was gonna say, it looks good seeing Mr. Matthew Chapin get second, even though he did 10 seconds behind DeMario, but he also had almost 10-second gap within in second place. So for him winning last year in the did he win? Yeah, he won last year.
The Junior Cup.
Junior Cup, and then he moved up. So I think he has potential as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure, man. I mean, again, if you take DeMario out of the series, between Chapin and Hank Vosberg, which hasn't been in the series that long, like for a kid to just come in, I mean, I think he missed the first 2-3 rounds and just kind of jump in and already right at the top, getting up there in the points. Like those 2 kids, take DeMario out of it, those 2 kids are like the fastest kids by far in the Twins Cup, man. By far. Like amazing young kids, man.
Pretty wild to see. But let's get into MotoGP, which is also pretty wild to see. Crazy weekend overall.
I could have finished that race in the points. You know that, right? I just didn't have to crash. Like,
right.
I could have got lapped 7 times. I could have got lapped 7 times and still walked away with a couple of points.
That was a straight crash fest.
You could have. That's the first time in a long time that I've only seen 10 bikes finish a race. I'm trying to think.
It's been a long time, man. It must have been a rain race.
Yeah. Because it had to be a rain race. But what do you think? I mean, they started with 18 riders and ended with 10. With 10, that was pretty wild to see. But what are you guys' thoughts on the sprint, qualifying, and then the overall weekend? We'll start with TJ.
I mean, the first time I'm getting out there, everyone just wanted to see what Mark wanted to do. But I felt like the practice and all that went pretty well. For the sprint, with the rain coming into play, we all know Mark was going to be Mark, and at this point, it's really over. He's shown that. Just to show him the way his class of just, even though he bumped the start a little bit in the pole, and to come back. I think from 6th place to manage through the rain and to still get in the first place after just 15 laps, so, this just shows just his finesse and his like how smart he is and what he knows what he has on the table right now. So he knows it's his to lose. But I thought overall for the sprint, Bezzecchi being back up there was pretty cool. And I think KTM still needs some work. It was tough to see Maverick go down the way he did.
Oh, man.
So, no, that was a little blow. And so that was a bike down for them. And then especially what happened into Morbidelli. I don't know, was that in the sprint or the GP? Yeah, that was the sprint.
Sprint.
Yeah. So that was tough to see as well. But because he was running good. But overall, Mark, we knew he was going to take that. This is king of saturated.
Nice. What are your thoughts, Reese? I mean, Honda looked good out there. Zarco in the qualifying, not in the race, they fell back, but in qualifying, there were some other brands that looked good in qualifying.
No, I mean, they look good. I mean, I got a chance to catch a little bit of the qualifying near the end. I mean, from what I saw, they look real good. It's nice to see other brands up there in the top place and competing and wanting to compete and seeing if they can get back on the top step of the podium. So I'm kind of happy that I saw Luca Marini and, Zarco and all them, qualifying doing a lot better. I wish it wasn't a big crash fest in the race and, to see them actually compete with other, brands and not just compete with 10 bikes, I know. But hey, I mean, you take advantage of what you got and go from there. I mean, like, TJ said, I mean, at the end of the day right now, I mean, championship is kind of over. So you're pretty much fighting for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. to see where you're at, just to get their performance money. And I mean, that's a big paycheck for them. So might as well just go ahead and get for it.
Lewis, what are your thoughts, man? The overall weekend.
I mean, I had Mark winning both races. The sprint race when the rain came down and he had that moment and he ran wide, I was like, oh, maybe somebody else can take this one, because in the rain, it's a little bit of an equalizer, and Bez got a really good jump. And, Mark had to mix it a little bit to get through some of the riders. But then once he started getting to that open air and just started putting his head down, and I mean, I was following him through one lap where Digi was behind him. And when the lap started, Digi was only like one bike length behind him. And as soon as they got past the triple left-handers, like Digi was like 25 bike lengths behind him. I was like, this is a wrap, bro. Like, bro, how do you get 25 bike lengths on the dude that was a bike length behind you in a series of 3 corners? And it's just like this. When it comes to counterclockwise tracks, I looked this morning, he has like a 59% winning percentage. Yeah, so if it's a counterclockwise track, he's going to win 1 out of every 2 races, more than 1 out of every 2 races. Like, that's a crazy number to think about. Like, this dude is going to line up at these 6 tracks, because there's 6 tracks that are counterclockwise on the schedule. And the chance of him winning at least 4 out of the 6 is better than the chance of anybody else winning even 1 out of the 6. Like, that's crazy, bro. It doesn't make no sense. And then Sunday, I kind of knew, like, if he got some clear air in front of him, he was going to be gone. I was surprised that his brother ended up where his brother ended up, because remember, he's racing with a broken hand, and that's got to be rough, man. Because after a while, I don't care how much they shoot you up, so you can only numb your hand so much. You still need to feel the bars, you still need to feel the brake lever, so you're going to have to struggle through some of that pain. But lucky for him, Saxon Ring is not a heavy braking track, so you don't have to put all that extra weight on your hands for that hard braking zones. So he can kind of give himself like 4, 5, 6 corners before that next heavy braking zone, because really it's only 2 heavy braking zones, the front straight and the very bottom of the waterfalls, where you need to brake to make the left. Outside of that, it's not like, you're coming to a first gear turn or anything. So,
right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Peck. I mean, dude, the way he tumbles in sprints, man, like, it makes no sense, man.
No, it does not make any sense. We had Vinales, Frankie, Oliveira. These guys crashed out, and I think all of them are hurt. Well, we know for sure Vinales and Frankie's hurt. I think Oliveira's hurt too.
Mir walked away unscathed.
Yeah. Mir walked away.
The new Oliveira.
That dude has so much bad luck.
The new Oliveira.
Listen, I feel bad for Mir for sure, and I agree with took him out. Very apologetic, but he entered that corner. Aguirre entered that corner pretty fast.
He had no chance in making that, man. There was no chance.
None. None making that. That was a wrap.
It was none. Which one do you think these guys gonna be ready after the summer break? The Vinales, Oliveira, and Frankie.
I don't know.
Frankie's last on that one. Frankie's tough.
I mean, Frankie didn't break anything. It's just injuries. So I haven't heard that he broke anything. Vinales,
he dislocated his shoulder, right?
Just dislocated his shoulder. So some therapy. I mean, you can come back from dislocated shoulder pretty quickly. You just got to be careful that you don't re-injure it if you're not going to get if it doesn't need surgery.
Right. Just don't be like a Speed.
And then Oliveira, I mean, he's going to end up hurt again after the first race of the season, so he might as well just stay out, bro. Just he needs his whole side of the garage like blessed, or like some sort of like some kind of juju put in there. Get the spirits out.
Right.
I agree.
He needs another Joanne Mir to take some of that juju away from him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
After this weekend, do you guys think that Zarco should get that factory seat with Honda?
I think it should be
minus
done
the crash. I know he crashed out. I was thinking about this before he crashed out. If he didn't crash out, definitely, but he did crash out, which by himself too.
I
mean,
say
for
he
me,
does deserve it, but no,
yeah,
I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather put a younger guy on there because he's older. He can help develop. If you put a younger guy on a non-factory, it's kind of gonna go fade away again. You're not gonna see
Give
the
him
young
so
guys.
give him the factory contract, but just keep him where he is at an LCR.
Yeah.
Yes, that's more. That's a lot better.
As far as who's going to get Marini's seat, that's still up in the air because, now we got this whole new Aprilia hubbubaloo where they're saying that they got a contract and unless, they get a judge to say otherwise or something, like Martin's not going to be able to ride for anybody else. And then Dorna CEO pretty much said the same thing. If he's not riding with Aprilia and there's nothing that legally says that he doesn't have to ride with them, if he doesn't want to ride with Aprilia, we won't give him a license to ride anywhere else.
Right. I think that Jorge Martin should have called up Bezecchi and give him some money and tell him to slow down a little bit because now
make me look good. Make me look good.
now that Aprilia's been on the box a couple of times, it's hard to sit here and say it's not competitive.
But
Right.
again, it's competitive on specific tracks, just like any other bike. It's the Ducati is the only bike that's competitive on 90% of the tracks. Every other bike is competitive on 80, 70, 60, depending on the bike. KTM, they've got their bikes, their tracks where they're competitive. Yamaha has their bikes and tracks where they're competitive. Ducati is the only one that like weekly at almost every track is at that high level that they can race at every track and be competitive.
Right. And so you don't think that Bezecchi's showing that Aprilia, he's been the most competitive on Aprilia as far as being consistent, being competitive where, Aleix, he won here, won there, competitive here. But the last few rounds, Bezecchi's been continuously moving forward. And now he's been up front for the since Silverstone.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see how he's doing after the break. Let's see how he does in the second half of the year. Because if he can keep that consistency, and again, he doesn't have to be in the top 5 every race. Just stay consistent in that top 6, 7 every race. Don't crash. Finish the races. Get the points. Because that's where you're really going to shine apart. Because remember, at the beginning of the year, he had a problem where he had really bad starts. And then in the middle of the race, he was the only one that had pace. But then he was in 18th place and he finished in 12th. Right. Now he's not having that problem where he drops back in the beginning. He's able to stay competitive in the beginning, the middle, and the end. So maybe they found something because, again, he was first year. They got to set the bike up, tried a bunch of different settings, what works for him. Maybe they found something that works for him that now lets him be competitive beginning, middle, and end. And let's see if they can carry that over to the second half of the year. I would love to see Aprilia up there right at the front with Ducati and another 1 or 2 manufacturers.
Yeah, I don't know what the weather condition was like, but he was the most competitive manufacturer until he crashed out against the Ducati in the main race itself, even in the sprint, but in the main race because Alex tried to pass him, he got him back. I forget who else tried to pass him and got him back and kept the position.
It's just gravity beat him.
It would have been good to see Aprilia back on the podium again, but that was unfortunate to see like 3-4 riders go down in turn 1.
Yeah, that turn 1, man. There must have been oil or something there because there was guys that were crashing before they even tipped in, man. Like it looked like they just got on a brake, and the second they hit that brake lever, like the front would just fold.
Yeah,
like there was guys crashing early.
Yeah. I mean, we had 8 riders crash out. And I mean, the worst ones were Bezecchi and De Gennatoni, even Acosta, because he crashed out early. And lucky thing that bike dug in the middle because that could have went back on the track.
Yep.
Any thoughts on outside of oil or anything? I don't think it was oil. You think it was the temperature?
Maybe I think it was probably temperature.
They shouldn't crash out now.
Yeah, I can't call it.
Say again, Reese.
Maybe his leaning was too low or something.
No, I was saying I'm with everybody. I don't know what was on. There's had to be something on that track because you're not even on tipping point yet, and you're just crashing out. Like, what's going on with this? That's too many people in one turn.
Yeah, no, crazy. Lewis, are you guys gonna put a clause in Morbidelli's contract there for replace Zipper next time and do not force?
So Dorner released like a press release yesterday or something where they grabbed the suit, they did a full inspection of the suit, they can't find anything wrong with it, they couldn't find anything that mechanically was wrong with the suit, so they can't determine exactly what happened. We're going to take the suit back. Obviously we're going to run through as many tests as we can as well to see exactly what was the situation. Was it not zipped the entire way? I mean, even if it wasn't, like, it shouldn't have blown apart like that. Like, what exactly was the situation? Unfortunately, this is part of the racing is, when you're developing new technologies, and there is some new technologies in this suit that aren't in previous suits, sometimes you come across things like this, but they can't find anything that was mechanically or structurally incorrect with the suit. So the zipper didn't come apart at the seam. The zipper literally came apart at the mechanical part of the zipper. So we got to figure out, because it's never happened in that type of situation. Usually it's somebody doesn't zip it up all the way and it'll become undone. Now with all the zippers that we have in MotoGP, we actually have Velcro on the zipper pull and Velcro on the bottom of the collar. And even we use that here with our riders in MotoAmerica now. So when they zip it up, they actually have to Velcro the collar snap to the zipper so the zipper won't pull down. So when they snap it, it's Velcroed in on the top. So it can't really come undone. Like, you really got to do something stupid to have it come undone. But, again, we got to do investigations. And this is, why we test these new features and things like that, unfortunately, on racers, because we know they're going to crash eventually and we're going to see how things hold up. But that's not that's not what we want. That's not what we're looking for at all. So we're going to do a serious deep dive on what happened there and make sure it doesn't happen again.
For sure. Yeah, let's talk about KTM. Well, not just KTM, but like KTM. Let's talk about Benda, Fernandez, Rins. I won't even throw Luca in there, but these three riders, because they finished in the top 10, and obviously some of that was due to some guys crashing out. But Fernandez has been riding really well lately. Can he, be like? Can he? And I still trying to see if he can save his career and stay in MotoGP. Well, he has another contract for next year, so it'll be hard. I mean, for them, not to say hard for them to get rid of him, but he does already have a contract for next year. What was most impressive, Rins, Fernandez, or Benda? I mean, Benda was on the KTM, so as long as he stayed up, he was collecting points. So, what are your thoughts on that, TJ?
I mean, I think Bender, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if Brad just goes out there just to race, just because he's got a contract. For some reason, like, I don't ever see like him, trying super hard. I know they're going through their battles, and obviously they have Pedro Costa and Maverick and Anaya. But I feel like he hasn't really tried hard this season, or it's just out there riding. So for him to get top 10, yeah, a lot of people crashed out. I don't find that super impressive. It's just kind of where he fell in. I do want to see, we were talking about Raul. I do want to see him shine a little better. Like I said, I don't know when his contract's up, but I hate seeing riders come into MotoGP and then disappearing. I like to see sometimes a little longevity. So I want to see him step up. We've seen Brad Binder forever, so I definitely want to see him step up to the plate a little bit.
Right.
I forget the other racer you mentioned.
Luca? No.
It was Rins. It was Rins.
Oh, Rins, right. I mean, when it was back when it was Joan Mir and Alex Rins, I really loved that duo. But since then, I think Rins hasn't had it since then. And here and there, he'll get a podium, but ever since I think he broke his leg last year, it's just never been the same. He's just kind of just been 10th to 15th place, or, just way in the back. And it's another one that I think it's just, I don't know if deserves a seat next year or whatever his contract's up. So
do you think with Benda is kind of, it's kind of what we say might be going on with Bagnaia, and even with Raul and Ayagura. As far as Ayagura is doing really well when he came in, Marquez is doing better than Bagnaia. Acosta last year, everything was all about Acosta, and now he's his teammate. Do you think that Bender's feeling a little bit of, hey, show some love on this side of the box kind of thing, or you just think it's something else?
I mean, I think that probably has something to do with it. I don't know if it's just he wants to be, everyone probably wants to be the star. He probably just want more attention on him, so he's just out there just playing it safe. I'm not sure. I also don't know, like, if you're developing throughout the season, if you have 4 bikes, like obviously the top 2 riders will get some new product to test or use for the bike in a race. So I'm not sure if that's the case, if they all get it, or if it's just Pedro or the best rider, or if he's getting some of the new technology. I'm not sure how that works, but it seems like he's not getting anything, and he's just always in the back. But it seems to always finish. Well, he had a lot of crashes this year, but
right. What are your thoughts, Lewis? Is it pressure from Acosta? We know last year Miller was kind of upset that Acosta was getting parts and he wasn't, stuff like that. So I don't know how KTM is doing things on the inside. Is it just? I mean, Brad was the man when he came from Moto2, winning the title and coming into GP. He was the man for until Acosta showed up.
Yeah, but who else was racing on KTM that was at a really, really top level? Like Miller's bounced around all over the place. He's never been consistent. He's been on factory rides where, he can't find that consistency. He's fast at any one given race, but he's not fast consistently. Binder was just fast consistently. And since he kind of started and came up through the KTM hierarchy, he was kind of the most protected rider that KTM had. Now that KTM's brought people in from other places that been on different manufacturers and haven't come through the KTM rostrum, I think they're maybe showing them a little bit of a different pathway. Acosta coming over back to KTM because he was with KTM in the past, and he came into MotoGP in the KTM, but not on factory KTM. He was on a satellite. Yeah. So now it's, now he's just on a factory bike. He gets a little bit more factory support, but again, they also see that this kid is the future. Binder's been in the class for quite a few years now. And even though, again, once in a blue moon on a rain race on some slicks, he'll win this one-off crazy race. But, we don't need a perpetual 7th place racer. Like, we need a guy that's going to be our main guy on our factory team that we can put out there. And at this point, with this many seasons under his belt, Binder's shown, like, I'm not that guy. I can get you 7th, 8th place on a regular basis, but if you want somebody in the top 4 on a regular basis, you got to look somewhere else. Because at this point, I've had so much time on his bike, I haven't proven anything.
Yeah,
So, and then as far as Rins, same thing, man. I think ever since he broke his leg and that injury last year, he came into Yamaha with the expectation that he's going to have a bike that will handle similar to maybe the Suzuki where he had his most success, since he is like one of those really smooth, edgier tire kind of like corner speed riders. Like, he's a Lorenzo style rider where corner speed is where he really makes up his ground. But, this year the Yamaha doesn't have the best top speed. He hasn't gelled with the bike at all. I mean, you see it in his results. Not that anybody's doing phenomenal outside of Quartararo on the Yamaha, but I mean, he's not even, Jack Miller's outperforming him on a satellite Yamaha. And, so I think Rins is probably at the end of his career at this point. I don't think he's going to find another home after this, unless he tries World Superbike or something else. I don't see another team hiring him to jump on their bike at his age, with his mileage, with his injuries and everything. I hate to say it because I really do like him. I think he's a great rider. But, we got too many hungry sharks looking for seats. You got to give some of these hungry boys there. And I think, and the last one, Raul Fernandez, I think, somebody told him, he's like, hey, Raul, you got to go faster, man. You got to go faster and take less kitty litter home with you every weekend, or you're going to be looking for another job, supermarket or something. You're going to be packing up UPS boxes or something.
Right. Yeah. I agree with Renz as far as the injury for sure. I think that's the unfortunate side with him. I think, but and I'm not saying it's over, but I think he had like I not this last round, but one of the previous rounds, he was still limping. Like he's walking with a limp still.
I think that's permanent. Yeah, I think
every round he limps,
life, man. Like I think the injury never healed the right way, so I think he's got that little like hop in the way he walks. Like I think that's forever now at this point, man, which sucks. Again, these are the type of injuries that can just wreck your career.
Like every round I've seen him with a limp. I've never seen him walk straight ever since that injury.
Yeah, which is crazy. Before we talk about World Superbike a little bit, Lewis, you brought this up a little bit when we were talking about Bobby Fong and not riding like the Marquez brother. It's pretty blatant that Alex rides harder with other riders than he does with Mark. Is it just me?
No,
it's not just you.
You're looking at it correctly.
It's not just you, but I think those are the only two guys that each other respects on the track. And then outside of that,
I don't think Mark respects him on the track like that.
No. I mean, I'm saying, like, if you look at the way Mark passes Alex, he don't always pass Alex the way he passes other guys.
Fair enough.
Because he'll be a little bit more calculated with Alex if he has the time. If he sees that the guy behind him is coming up on him too fast, then he will make an aggressive move on Mark and like jump it up on the inside, or I'll break him somewhere or something like that. But for the most part, when he passes Alex, it's a little bit more of a calculated pass in an area where it's like a braking zone, or like he doesn't try to like beat him to the apex, leaned over and push him out of the way. Whereas other guys, like he will beat you to the apex. He will punch you into the rumble strips. But again, you can't blame them. If I don't want to take money out of my brother's pocket, I don't want to hurt my brother. And same thing, and like vice versa. I don't want to take money out of my brother's pocket or hurt my brother.
Right.
Now, this other dude, man, I'll hurt him. I'll go in the parking lot. I hurt his family. I'll go slash his tires if I have to, if it makes a difference between coming second and third.
Like, I don't give a shit.
At that point, it's business. But when it's your family, even though you're working and riding for your team, once Mark gets in front of him and Mark starts to stretch him, it's not Alex letting him stretch him. Right. Alex does his thing. But when it's them dicing with a certain area, like it is a little bit more respectful than most. Right. Let's put it that way.
And we talk about the team. If Alex was on KTM Factory, they wouldn't be standing for that. Right? He's on Grassini Satellite. Second place all year round is really good it's great for a satellite team.
I mean, for a satellite team, remember, a satellite team won last year.
Yeah.
So any satellite team would love to be in this position. I'm sure that Grassini would love for him to win a few more races because that's some more money in their pockets.
Right.
But even getting second place all the time, that's still a lot of money in their pockets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Reese, Alex got to ride harder with Mark for him to win, right? I mean, he's not going to win this year or next year if that's the case. If he doesn't start treating Mark like every other rider. I get it. Mark is trying to be nice. Okay, fine, great. But like, Alex is always on the losing end of the races.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to start winning, he's got to be a little bit more aggressive in the passing and pass his brother a little bit harder, or stick it up in there, where he can. And just like when you see those two ride, you look at them like, I respect my brother, my family. I don't want to go in there and hurt him or push him wide. I want him to do good as well and to have the two name of Marquez's on the box. Like Lewis said, when it comes to any other rider, he's like, I don't give a damn about you. And you're not, you're not family. You're not at this point in the level. My brother, we train together. My father's out here. My father don't even know which pit box to go into. He's like, do I go into my oldest ones or do I go into my youngest ones?
But in Alex's defense, when Reese finishes, I got one thing.
So, I mean, I just say Alex he's got to give a little bit more give it just that little bit more to get over the edge, and I think he can do it. Because you're on the same spec bike almost. Besides, like it's a little less. It's not though. I think it's on a 24. So give it a little bit more.
So then what my comment was, even though Alex is it looks like Alex is kind of racing for second place and being there's only been a handful of people in the history of MotoGP since Mark came into the series that could actually fight with Mark on a week in, week out basis.
For sure.
Heavy.
Right.
So like think about it. Andrea Dovizioso is the only guy that was like week in and week out fighting with Marquez for a good 2-year period, 3-year period.
Right.
Rossi, Lorenzo.
Yep.
That's
Pedrosa.
it, man.
Pedrosa.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
But yeah.
4 guys?
A
handful of guys. So for Alex to just be able to stay there and even try to compete at that level, yeah, he gets stretched. There's always that one point in the race when Alex is just like, all right, I'm going to check out now, and I'm going to give myself like a 2-3 second padding, then I could just coast it in.
Right.
So it's not, don't think that it's just Alex. I really don't want to battle my brother. He would love to battle his brother, but when Mark decides, like, I'm going to pull the pin on this,
he's pulling.
It's not like Alex is like, I'm not going to try to push for that extra half sec. I don't have that extra half sec. I don't know where he's pulling that out of his ass. I'm pushing 100% here, and this dude just stretched me by 7 bike lengths in 3 corners. It's just Marc Marquez, man. There's only a handful of people that can do what he does, and all of them are retired now. And Alex just happens to be this year's, placemat holder for that guy that's trying to compete. Man.
I think we talked about it before, that Alex will probably never beat his brother until his brother retires. I don't think he'll ever let that happen. It even seemed like that during the first race of the season where he just let his brother go. He was like, all right, you go ahead, let you see how it feels. And then just, I can't let you win yet.
Yeah.
And looking at like the brothers that we had in the past, like Brad Binder, Darren Binder, Paul Spargo, Alicia Spargo, there's always one that's like obviously better than the other. So you kind of like, I expected kind of the same with the Alex and Mark, and the year Alex had last year is nothing compared to this year. He's having a tremendous year. Obviously, he's on a great bike, but I just hope that he finishes well, and then obviously to see what he can do next year. Obviously he's a great rider, and obviously a great rider needs a great bike to compete. But you see what Mark did when he was on Rossini, and that wasn't even the best bike. So it's good set. Obviously they train together.
If you take Mark out of the series, technically Alex is beating the 2-time champion by 50, 60 points or something like that.
Right.
It's just so it's not like he's not beating some great riders behind him. It's just that one rider in front of him that nobody can beat. The other 18, 19 guys can't beat that one guy.
Right. No, I agree. It's gonna be interesting second half of the season for sure. One of the, I don't know how what's the word I'm looking for, how one of the coolest things I saw was Top Rack winning this past weekend, and the Anchu brothers both winning in Super Sport and Moto 2. The Turks got to feel good about this past weekend. Their stock had to have gone up. For the first time I saw Dennis Anchu actually smile. If he's not in first place, this dude does not smile. What are your thoughts on Top Rack, Dennis Anchu and Ken Anchu?
So I mean, Top Rack, I'm just looking at the results. Like I was like the practice. He wasn't even first in, I don't think, any of his sessions. And like to go out and just win all 3 races clean. I mean, it's just, I don't know if the guy's back. He's just preparing for his MotoGP season next year and try to win this year as well. But yeah, I mean, Top Rock and Booliga battles is always good to see. But to win 3 in a row, I mean, it's just like he's the king of World Superbike kind of way to say, especially being champ.
Yeah, he got to
I
work on
didn't
the
really.
celebration though.
You think you got to work on the celebrations? I think he had one of
Yeah.
the coolest celebrations last year. Like he put a wing on his back and rode around. I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, I get what you're saying. But as far as Dennis Donchu and all, though, I didn't really see like uh, this like what you're saying, his smile and him not smile when he's not winning. But I think he's definitely having a good season as well.
Lewis.
On the World Superbike side, I like both riders that are in the top two, man. I root for Bulaga because again he had a really hard time for a little bit of time there. Leaving the GP paddock, not having a ride, going to World Supersport, that whole thing. So I do root for him, and I like the fact that this championship is so close, man. There's only 4 points separating the top two guys. These guys are going to battle probably all the way to the end. I mean, I don't expect this championship, unless something dramatic happens, I don't expect this championship to be resolved before the last race of the year. Like, I honestly think it's going to come down to like the last race of the year between these two, because nobody's giving. And when somebody gives, the other one pulls back. And, it's that yo-yo right at the top. And these two guys have just really just separated themselves from the rest of the field, man.
Yeah,
like nobody else is on this level.
Yeah, and it's whoever has the worst qualifying, right? I mean, the better qualifier is the one is winning, and whoever got to come through. That the only reason why they're not up front and fighting is just because they're coming through the field.
Yeah, and I mean the results are only this close now because remember Bulaga got taken out at the last race, so that gave Toprak a bunch of points back.
And he had an engine failure.
And they had an engine failure. Yeah. Yep. So, that's 50 points right there. Now that's not to say that Toprak's going to get away without having some DNFs and some other mechanicals. And, this is what racing is. On any given day, you can have the greatest bike. And with one lap left, your chain breaks. With one lap left, a cylinder drops, a valve blows. Anything can happen. So, but I still think that outside of mechanicals, these two guys are by far the cream of the crop here, man. I mean, what these two guys can do on a motorcycle, on a super bike, I look at it sometimes like, man, I even if I had the talent, I don't know if I'd be down to do that, man. That's a little scary, man. I mean, watching these guys going side by side and dicing it up the way they do sometimes, and just it's amazing, man. What these guys can do on these bikes is just so unbelievable. Like if you took these guys back to the 70s on one of their bikes to any track anywhere and let them do a couple of laps, like the entire pit be like, how's that possible? And now it's like commonplace. It's like every weekend, like this is what motorcycle racing has evolved into, this unbelievable. It's a ballet of gravity, man. It's literally it's gravity defying. We're trying to figure out how to beat gravity on every single corner using, less than a quarter of inch of rubber on the side of a tire. It's wild, bro. I love it.
That's why we're here, man. We love it. What are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, first and foremost, I haven't heard it, but I got to give a good shout out and good respect to my good friend over there, Garrett. I mean, taking 2 top 10s, 8 and 6. Yeah. So I definitely got to give a big thanks to him. And
he got a new contract,
right, with his new contract with his team. So I mean, that was a very, very sporty of him. But with Toprak, man, that's just it's like you're the king. You're another Marquez in this league. Can't be touched. Can't be. It's just dominant. And he wins in dominant fashion. To see him win each race this weekend, I was like, it was almost kind of like I was at the point of like just either get a DNF. I wanted to see a DNF just to see some drama. Like I was hoping like either he crashed or the engine failure. Yeah. Just give me something. Alex
was running with him until he crashed out in race 1. Alex was definitely running with him.
He was,
but
you wanted to see something like, something's going to happen. I'm anticipating something happening and nothing happened. I'm like, dang, this man is just dominant, and I'm just hoping, but like Lewis said, I think this is going to go I think it's going to go down to the last race, the last round, the last lap, everything. It's going to go down to that. I don't think the championship is going to be determined any sooner. I think it's going to be determined at that last round coming.
Okay. 2 questions before we get out of here. Who should get Alvarez seat and who should get Top Rock seat for next season?
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
I know BMW is looking at Moto2 riders and MotoGP riders. Like they made a press announcement that, right now they're not limiting their search just to the World Superbike paddock. They're looking at Moto2 and they're looking at current MotoGP riders that might be without a ride.
Aaron Canet.
Nah, man. Like I said, maybe if he got 2 or 3 more tattoos, maybe, but I don't think he has enough tattoos right now, man. Honestly, man, I think it'd be somebody they want to name. They either want a name or a big talent. So it's either going to be someone like a Jack Miller or somebody like that. That comes with a little bit
Jack
of like
Miller, Raul, or Alex Rins. One of them.
No.
He's like
Rins, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's just a TP option.
Yeah. I can see some Moto2 riders. Manzi will be good, but I don't know if he's going to stay in the Yamaha family when he moves up to Moto Superbike, because he should move up to Superbike at some point.
You never know who's going to take Ray's seat next year, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. That's right. He might go somewhere else too, right, Ray?
Yeah.
Rumor mill is talking about going back to Honda.
No, Ray supposedly the rumor mill is that he's going to end up on the same bike with one of the Losar brothers, the Ducati.
The VDS.
Yeah,
he's going to be the second rider on that.
Yep.
Okay, I can see that. Petrucci, should he go to the factory seat? He's doing really well, third in the standings, and
too old.
Yeah.
Just everybody in World Superbike's old.
Yeah, but you can give it to a younger guy that can be groomed by Bulliga, and Bulliga can help bring that young guy up if you get a young guy. So once Bulliga leaves, you got the next guy stepping in the Bulliga seat right in the shadow, and you can keep that dominance going.
Okay. I'm rooting for Petrucci, but I feel you. It makes sense, and I'm saying here, I doubt he would want like a 1-year contract. So, it's better to have a 2-year than a 1-year, right? So I don't know if he would go. He did 1 year with Ducati factory in MotoGP. So, but
like Lewis said, man, that 1 year, when a rider has that 1 year, year contract, it's kind of hard to give it your all, because you're at that point where you're like, I want to give it my all, but then I don't want to throw this shit down the line.
Right. 2-year contracts only. Well, guys, until next time, this is pretty dope. It was a pretty crazy weekend with all the racing. I had all my screens. I had a race on. It was one of the few times I could watch racing from like 5 a.m. until, when you guys finished in Cali.
Right. It was good times, man. Trust me. I was up early watching the race before I went to the track. So it was good times.
No doubt, man. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. Peace.
Take care.
Peace.